Well, hello, Bob Dendry here, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, The Long Game. So last episode, we added freight to our new Millenium Line, and we did a few tweaks here and there. Now, in this episode, I want to start here just near Wichita Falls, where we have, a few slowdowns happening as we saw in our ride along last week. So let's jump in and see what we can do to improve things here. So at the heart of our issues is this large junction here. It's very spread out. And what that means is there's a lot of different sort of conflict points where things can occur, things can block, trains can block each other and things like that. Now, one simple thing we can do now is by eliminating this triangle here. Of course, this is an important one. As you can see, we've already got two trains lining up here and waiting to go. But rather than having these trains switch onto our main tracks, what we can do instead is actually have them pop across to our Chandler branch. And that's a lot quieter. So I think it would be a good option for us to look at doing that there. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to switch to our line view so we can actually see who's using what, because we also have some opportunities to potentially get rid of some of these connections if they're not being used. This one here, I think, is a really good candidate to be pulled out. We're not going to be using it. This through one here will be used once we move this connection across to the Chandler line. So we're not going to get rid of that one. But let's just see. I have a feeling potentially that we might have some slope issues crossing over here. And it's definitely looking like, we're getting too much slope. So let's see, can we get down enough? We actually can't. So what that could potentially mean we need to do is just to split off a little bit earlier as well. And potentially be heading straight down if we can. That could work if we're to do something like that, potentially. The slope too steep is this one here. We don't actually break the line if we disconnect that, which is interesting. But yeah, we can sort of hook in here fairly easily, it looks like. I don't think there's anything that goes the other way. So we should be able to do it just a sort of a one direction join like so. I wonder if, okay, so one of the lines is now switching across to do that. We have this line being our Albuquerque freight shuttle that doesn't want to switch over yet, but we can potentially have that use a different set of tracks. So it'll instead come from the other direction. That may be another way we can reduce the sort of, shall we say, congestion there. So if we switch that one across, oh, actually we can't do that because we don't have a triangle in this direction, but we can fix that. We can add one in if it'll be beneficial for us to do so. I'm just going to think about this for a second. It might be simpler to do that. I'm saying that, but there's not really a way we can do it without conflicting with potentially our passenger tracks here. So no, we might need to retain that connection, but we should still be able to delete this and it won't break because they will still use this main junction here. So who's going where? Albuquerque Freight Shuttle. You are possibly going to go and do something silly, potentially, to be able to link back to where you want to go. Same with that one there. That's okay. We'll just let them, decide how they want to do what they want to do. But we'll disconnect this like so. And then once all the trains have passed through here, we will be able to completely remove this connection. So that is going to mean we can't actually remove any of these connections here. They should all be used, I think. Yeah, so I don't know why it's not showing up there unless I hover over it, but yeah. It does definitely connect up through here. But what we can potentially do is maybe make some of these connections not as sort of long and broad, which is going to impact the speed, obviously, that some of our trains will be able to utilize getting through, but it will reduce the amount of conflict. We'll be able to have better sort of signaling, things like that. So let's see if we can do that. I'll start with this one here, because this is quite a long sort of join, and see if we can maybe have it more sort of starting about here or so, right after our we've got construction not possible. I usually find when you get that, it's sometimes easier to start with your outer sort of connection like so, and that should, I was going to say that should fix it, but no, it's still not happy. Okay, we've got a connection there, that is good. And if we maybe start about here or so, it is obviously decreasing our speed through here, but it's still remaining okay. It's not terrible. Our problem is that we can't join up, and that is not good. Okay. That's okay. We'll continue thinking about how we can get that to work, I guess. The other option, we could take it further out like so. Because this line here isn't really where the conflict is causing slowdown. It's over here. So that might be a little bit better if we can sort of join that up here or so. Which it seems, I was going to say, it seems to be going okay, but we didn't actually connect it up. So no, it is potentially not seeming okay. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to quickly pause because we are going to disconnect this. And that should fix that. Yes, it does. So we can pull out this connection here like so. And we've already got like quite a decent amount of sort of space we can add signaling on. So that's good. And I think we want to try and do the same here as well, potentially on this one. And just try and make these sort of more, I guess, compact sort of connections. We're looking and seeing how we're going there. Pretty good. All right, and with these design changes, this whole junction should function a fair bit better. We should hopefully not have quite as much in terms of our slowdowns and things like that. Fingers crossed. That's not all we've got planned for this section of track though. I have some plans to completely transform the way we are carrying freight on our Cross River main line. And what we're going to do, we're actually going to bypass Wichita Falls for quite a few of our services, which should free up a lot of the sort of slow freight movements along this corridor here. Basically, what I want to do, we're going to take our Cross River Freight trip train as well as our Wichita Falls freight shuttle. And rather than have them coming through this junction here, what they're actually going to do, they will basically past the other side of Wichita Falls and then join up with our main line sort of quite close to the bridge over here. So what that is going to do for us is going to, first of all, remove quite a lot of the pressure that is on this part of the network. It will also remove our reliance on this corridor for freight unloading. Instead, it will happen on this side over here. And it should hopefully reduce some of the slowdown. I don't think our contours are quite as bad on this sort of section. If we were to start over here, say, we're in the wrong contour map. In fact, if we start over here, we're looking at about 16 meters. We're getting all the way up to about 26 at Wichita and then down again to 16. So Wichita is on a hill. Instead, if we're over here at our Laredo Freight Hub, we can see that it appears to be a fairly nice, gradual sort of line that we could go through, tunnel through this hill here and then join up at a sort of reasonable height. So rather than going up and down, we can just have one long, decent sort of grade that we'll be able to manage the whole way through. Now, so this is going to mean that some of the things we're doing here will change a little bit, obviously. Basically, what we'll be doing, and I will pause for this, because this is going to cause some issues as these sort of major transformation projects tend to do. I'm going to pull off these reconnections here. We're actually going to dive these under our main lines, which of course we're going to have to break away from our parallel tracks in order to do that. It looks like we might actually be better off going up based on what I'm seeing right now. But let's see what we can do. Because we don't want to completely break everything, though I say that and I'm literally breaking all of this. That's okay. It happens. The other thing we could do is bury this track for a short sort of while, which as you can see is just not going to work. We are struggling a little bit, I think, to work out how we will make this happen. But I think it should be okay. So we'll have you go all the way up. Maybe? We're certainly going a long way, aren't we? Okay. Let's see. Now, can we get a track under there? I would imagine we'll be able to, but I just want to make sure. Okay, we can make that connection. Question is, can we connect this up? And this might be a bit more of a challenge. Though we can, of course, always just have a good little cheat, which we do from time to time. But it is not wanting to connect up there at all, is it? It looks like we're almost there. Okay, no, it will actually connect up. That is good to see. So if we go to about here or so, we should then be able to flatten this. Right. Will not do that little kink there though. We'll keep this straight. And it's already wanting to go back down. That's pretty good. Let's see if we can do the same here. Oh, collision. I'm okay with that. We can slightly realign this to fix that. Okay, that's looking good. And as you can see, we do need to realign this quite a bit to have it work. But it should be okay. So can we just connect this straight? We can. It's not too bad. We do need to slow down a little bit to get it to work. That's actually not where we want to connect up either, actually. So might not even be that bad. 140 or so, pretty decent, I would say. Okay, and we just need to connect up pretty much. Just these. Do they make a decent connection? Yeah, not too bad. Okay. Who's unhappy? There's going to be a few things unhappy right now. That is absolutely a-okay. We do need to redo some of our electrification, in fact. Okay, so Cross River Trip Train is now all that is left needing to sort of fix up here. So, decent. We've done well, I think. Let's disconnect this little bit here. We will pop in a freight terminus station, make it 2 tracks, 240 meters, and we'll have it feed into about here or so. And we should be good now to punch through. Excellent. I'm disconnecting this because there's a better connection to be made. I can just use our tunnel that we've already built. Like so. And which track is this? I always forget which track I'm extending. So it's the left pair of tracks. And let's see. We can join on like this. And we've got a couple of different options on where the trains can go. They can see if they can punch through like that, but it doesn't look like they want to. We can probably fix that though. We just need to temporarily break this one. And we should be able to do something like this. Okay. That fixes that. Perfect. Okay. So some of our cross-river freight trains that are currently running will be broken. They might need to do some little switchies, something like that. We might build potentially temporary connections here just to allow them to actually go where they need to go if they are broken. Don't need to put one in that direction though. But yeah, once they have done what they need to do, then we can remove that connection. So we can unpause now. And I'm just going to get some signaling out of the way while we're doing this as well. All right, this should be good. I'm hoping this will free up a lot of capacity, especially around this junction here, which has been a little bit troublesome of late. And I think this doesn't really bottleneck it all too much. I don't necessarily think we are going to have a completely sort of free connection there. As you can see, there is swapping of connections happening, and we expect that. But overall, yeah, I think this will certainly make Wichita Falls function a little bit smoother. So next of all, we will get our connections into the main line from our station. Maybe. Apparently we've got a bit too much slope for that to happen. Oh, we do have some slope, don't we? Ah, but in the end it does work, of course. Might just need to remove a couple of signals here. And yeah, this should hopefully function all right. Definitely don't take anything for granted in this game, ever. But yeah, I'm hopefully we'll get some success here. We'll need to set up our freight loop as well to now run from this station instead. Where are they unloading? Okay, they're unloading here. So what does everything look like? So we get a little bit of coverage over here. Nothing too... It's not too bad. And we'll need probably a couple more. So we have this... where is it? I keep losing it. Legit. Okay, we've got that one there. That's a decent amount of coverage there as well. Say we'll probably need one about here or so. And definitely one on this side as well. And of course we need a truck station as well to do the loading and unloading from. All right, we are going to modify our lines. And that should be all we need to do, really. And we can also remove Lower Wichita Falls, which does free up a little bit of space for development, which is always cool to see as well. There you go. Get a few more houses up there. Very, very cool. Next, I've clicked on the wrong one. Next, we need to take our Wichita Falls freight shuttle and allow it to unload at Laredo North. That does break things, of course, because it is now going from the wrong platforms. We should be able to fix that. I think we can... What platform are you wanting to use? Platform 8. Not sure which is which, if I'm completely honest. I think platform 8 is this one here. We should be able to fix this by having it use this pair of tracks on this side instead, or even just a single track as well. And it can connect up, well, somewhere here anyway. Like so. So we should be able to connect you up to, I think it'll be platform 4. Not platform 4? Oh gosh, I don't understand how terminals work. Should be platform 4. That should work fine. So I don't know what the problemo is. Potentially because we need electrification, maybe? Oh, I don't know. I don't even know if we should be electrifying this. We're probably going to be getting rid of our electric freight in the not too distant future, but hey, is what it is. So, where are you? Wichita Falls Freight Shuttle. You should be okay. Is it this little connection here that breaks it? Okay, it was just that one there. And I'm guessing you're just generally in the wrong place right now. Okay, so I'm hoping that this will really allow us to start to reduce the congestion on this line. And I think I'm starting to see it die down a little bit. Obviously, it's not perfect yet. We've still got some backups that need to be cleared, as we can see. But overall, I think this is a good win for us, reducing the conflict points on our network. Another little conflict point is here over at our paper mill. We have our wood trains that sort of foul this main line for a little bit of time, but not a massive amount. And then they end up on this pair of tracks anyway. So what I think we might do is actually have them pop either over the top of or underneath the main line to sort of prevent that from happening. Because there doesn't need to be a conflict point there. Fairly simple, I think. Though it appears we might need to potentially push it back a little bit further as we can't quite get up high enough. Now, I've been having a look at our Peoria to Roseville via New York line as well, because obviously we added some additional trains on there last episode. And it seems like we still got a fair amount of backup. So our trains, well, that's not the right train anyway, but our trains are still, especially at the Roseville end, not completely picking up everyone that it needs to pick up, really. So I think we might try and sneak just one more vehicle on. I don't necessarily think we need to go any more than that. But that'll once again increase our frequency. I think we were looking at 9 minutes before and it blew out to 12. So hopefully we should be able to maintain, I guess, the good work we've been doing if we were to keep that at about 10, 8 to 10 probably. Now I'm looking at our vehicle statistics and we've definitely got a few older diesel locomotives we could do with replacing. Now I'm going to go ahead and make those replacements now, and if we do need to make any decisions, we'll talk through that as well. So first of all, we've got the Albuquerque to Oklahoma City alcohol train. We're running GP38s and also some GP7s on these. So these are quite old. And we can probably just go with replacing all of them. GP38s are, pretty old school these days. And these are running on a fairly congested set of track, as we know, running through that Wichita Falls junction area. So we're going to get these upgraded to some nice new fast trains. And I think we'll go with SD80s for these ones. We do have some new CSX liveries as well. So we should be fine to go ahead and get these switched over. And I think we're going to be using mostly 50-foot box cars, at least at the moment. They are a little bit faster, and I think they just look a little bit better than these old, like 86-foot ones we were running. And I think that will increase our capacity a little bit. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this will look a little bit better for us in any case. Now, here is something I've been waiting a good few years for. It's a good few years later than I thought these would be available, but we now have Acela Express available to run. And I think this is what we're going to be running on our Millenium Line. We'll remove these GF6Cs, move them onto other lines, because realistically, they just don't really work for the Millenium Line. And let's see, I don't know if we could potentially get these onto other lines. Potentially we might need to do some weird stuff to make it work. Not sure. I need to do something like that for us to switch them onto different lines. But I will purchase new trains first, and then we'll, make our way along getting them switched over. All right, so we've got the Amtrak Acela Express. I believe this is just a repaint of the vanilla game Speed Dance Express. But hey, better than nothing. It is 203 meters long, so I think that's a fairly similar length to the trains we're running right now, to be honest. But let's get a good few of these purchased. 5 of them. So I'm going to get these onto the line, and as soon as I do that, I need to start shifting around other trains so they go where they're supposed to go. So if we go to our manage vehicles, I might grab a few of these at a time and see if we can get them switched across. Okay. And the last 2, where could we have those go? I'll just chuck them on the Chandler branch as well, and we can sort of move them around with what they want to do. Now, continuing the, I guess, the modifications we're doing here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this old Silverliner, we're going to sell that off. That is surplus to requirements. And what I might do is get one each of these Metro liners and change them over to our outer suburban loop services. I think these will be shorter ones. But yeah, it should be fine. And that will allow us to utilize the GF6C trains without as much of an issue. All right, we've got the Acela Express running. I'm stoked. So let's jump aboard it, and I'm hoping this is going to be a much faster, much smoother ride than on the old GF6s we were running on the Millenium Line. So hope you enjoyed this ride along. Wow, that was a fast trip. So you can see why, I was really holding out for the Acela Express and hoping we could get rid of those GF6Cs, or at least move them onto lower speed lines. So we got up to a maximum speed of 200 kilometers an hour on that trip. Amazing. And we're also booked out pretty much the entire way. So I think we're going to have a look and see what's our frequency looking like, what are our passenger numbers looking like, because we're definitely going to want to be getting some more trains on this line to support this massive amount of passengers we've got. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the ride along. Looking at Roseville, we've got over 1,000 passengers waiting. That is insane. Let's have a look and see where we're looking like having more passenger numbers. 257 at Chesapeake going towards LA, which is still pretty big numbers. 222 at Charleston, massive numbers. Massive numbers is Las Vegas Halt, and at LA itself, 600. Wow. So if we look at our line, how do things look? Yeah, pretty decent numbers on those trains right now. So let's try adding an additional 2 trains on here. We're not going to double it at this point, but getting those additional 2 trains on there hopefully should allow us to at least attempt to clear out some of those numbers. Well, that is going to be about all we have time for in this video, so I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You can find links to all my social media in the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. Big shout out to my Founders Club patrons Caleb and Isaiah. Thank you so much to the 2 of you for helping to make this content possible. Once again, reminder, I'm running a poll on where we'll be going for our next Transport Fever 2 series, so please, if you haven't already done so, jump on there and give that a vote so you can have your say. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry. This is Transport Fever 2, The Long Game. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.